Very good morning to one and all. This is Dr. P. Lavanya, working as Associate Professor in MBA Department and Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal, Hyderabad. Already in our last videos, we are seeing relating to the case studies. So we have seen the case studies, its importance and the role of economics in the economy. Means the case studies related to the what are the factors affecting the economy can be seen upon the introduction to the economics. So with that we have brought some of the example case studies. So in these, the first case study we can say relating to the role of managerial economics and how the decision making could be done on Telcon India and its effect upon the GDP rate of the country. So first we analyze the case study relating. The case study was the role of economics, which reflects the multi-factor role of managerial economics. Means what type of role does the managerial economics means? Multi-faceted means different dimensions of his roles was analyzed in this case study, and his involvement, this multi-phased role was involved in case of strategic decision making, so which that decisions will contribute for the success of the organization. And at the same way, here in the case study they are asking, they assume the role of managerial economics means what type of role we can identify of a managerial economist in a retail company. So for that, in a retail company, maximum we want the strategies which could be proposed of optimization of the price and the inventory management, and also reflects the profit maximization. So this is the roles where a multi-faced economist or economical manager has to be played in case of success of an organization. So how we can analyze these roles to a managerial economist, and along with that it is also asking about to analyze the Telco Indians GDP over the past decades. Means what sort of changes takes place in India's GDP, which was provided by the magazines of Telco India's, and how much growth rate is contributed. So the GDP growth mainly contribution relating to the technological innovations, and also asking us to examine about the unemployment inflation rate, and in the conclusion relating to the case studies is asking about what macro factors which indicates to the responsible, means the changes what has been brought in the technological innovation, in that what are the macro factors which indicates to the responsibility of the change. So this was the small analyzation or the interference of the case study. So we go for analyzing each and every point which was given in the case. So first we'll see the multi-faced role of the managerial economist. So as we know that managerial economist, he is having any crucial role which has to be played in integrating the principles and analyzation of decision making, as there are the different sides for the managerial principles, different varieties, different types, which will enforce the economy, organization. So multi-factors will be there. So they should be integrated, coordinated, which help for a manager to take the decision making in the organization. So we analyzed what is a multi-phased role of a managerial economics, like the economist, managerial economist, he himself plays a marketing analysis role, where he conduct an in-depth analysis relating to the demand, supply, competitors' behaviors, and also the overall industrial trends. Means total external market related analysis would be provided by the economist in the marketing analysis. Along with these marketing analysis, he has another phased role like cost analyzation, where he himself will identify the production cost related to the fixed variable, and also help us to identify about the economies of the scales and the cost optimization, or we can say like cost minimization, means where we can decrease the cost and increase the production, means he himself will analyze about the cost factor, and as a cost analyst role is also taken by the managerial economist. And another one is like policy analysis, so assisting the different policies and it impact of that policies of government, regulations, rules, and global economic trends on the business, means what type of effect does the change in the government policies or the regulations or maybe the global economic trends. So these effect has to be identified by the policy analyzation role, and along with that risk management. So as business itself is involved in an intensive risk, when the economist manager himself playing a lot of roles, everywhere the risk was a common. So here we should identify what type of potential risk and uncertainties were there in the market, and with that identification we can go for developing a best strategies which encounter the risk to migrate or minimization of the risk. So these are the some of the multifactorial things what a managerial economics, means multi-faced role does the managerial economics to involve. And the second factor asked in this case was relating to the strategic decisions of a manager. So the managerial economics or in the economist, the manager himself involves plays in a strategic decision making role, so which contribute for the success of an organization. So planning is different from strategies. Planning is quite common in every organization, but that planning in a differently or strategically encounter in the market, then it will help us for a success of every business organization. So here we can see that what type of strategic decisions does the organization will take. The first was like informed decision making. So we have to take the decisions which are much accurate and timely economical analysis, and it enables the management to be well informed, means once when we are taking any action in the external market, that must and should be taken the consent of the management. So that type of consenting we'll call it like informed decision making. Uninformed decisions or cannot be extracted or cannot be enhanced in the market. So always the strategic decisions involves in informed decision making, and along with it informed decision making, resources allocation is also very much important, where optimum utilization and identifying that where the investment is laying and what type of return, means every organization requires best utilization or optimum utilization of the resources with good or highest rate of return. With this the competitive advantage, so we should analyze the trends in the market, competitors behavior, and strategies involves such that the competitive advantage gives the best optimum profitability for the organization. And the next strategic decision relating to the profit maximization, though cost analysis and the pricing strategies are there, once we are involving or involving any sort of decisions or providing in the external market, managerial economics has to contribute the maximum profitability, means our strategic decisions 100% should contribute the profitability to the business. And along with that, when we are competitive advantage and analyzation of the business resources and all, we has to identify about the external dynamic changes. So what type of changes are taking place in the external market will help us to monitor the economic indicators, and that changes will adopted in the organization in order to have a favorable economic environment. So these are the some of the strategic decision making relating to the managerial economist. So along with that, when our decisions to be strategic and proposed, we have to be seen that the right thing in the organization management may be related to the pricing and inventory management. Why? Because the total cost of the production consisting of 60 to 70% of the inventory. So while evolving the pricing and also managing the inventory, we should be very careful proposing the strategies. So some of the important strategies are like dynamic pricing. So dynamic pricing means which implements the external changes. So based upon the external marketing conditions, marketing fluctuations, competitors pricing, we should evolve our pricing. Without having external pricing, we can't give the price which is acceptable in the market. So that's why dynamic pricing is one of the important pricing strategy to be adopted. So along with that, we should maintain the optimum inventory level. So once when you want to progress in the inventory management, so technical analysis has to be identified and the best inventory management techniques are there, like just in time inventory which we can manage relating to the holding of the inventory which ensures the product profitability. Here the just in time will tells us relating to the how much inventory to be within our hold for the next production. So based upon the external demand, minimum inventory reserve should be there in the organization such that the smooth running of the production will be takes place and no fluctuations will be there in the supply of the goods and services to the market. So along with these dynamic pricing and optimum inventory, we must and should also go for promotional pricing strategies. So as we know, these promotional pricing means during the peak stage demands, so means by giving some sort of discounts or maybe by providing offers, we want to clear the stock whatever we are having. Means once an organization is having an excess inventory, we want to clear it by adopting the promotional pricing, by offering the discounts and other types of benefits. And along with that promotional pricing also, if organization is having excess of inventory, bundle pricing means a bundle of goods will be provided for a some price, means some category of the price, means offer one for one, or maybe if we purchased one we'll get a 20 to 30% discount upon others. So this type of pricing will optimizes both the sales and also the inventory turnovers, where the organization is having extensively advantage of large scale production. This type of bundle pricing could be adopted. And with these 100% while we are involving this type of promotional pricing and bundle pricing or optimum inventory, utilization of the data must and should be identified. So which pattern and trends that customer is following, based upon that we should provide the pricing strategies. So this could be followed or this could be analyzed only when we know about demand forecasting and inventory planning. Means when organization is having a best methodology for forecasting of demand and also the inventory planning, then we have a data analyzation for strategic planning. So in this way we can go for analyzing the multi-factor analysis, strategic pricing, and some other strategies for inventory and management. So at the same way, what type of problem solving questions we have encountered in this case study was the Tehelkal India's GDP growth and technological innovations. So they stressed, so what type of GDP growth was there with the innovation management in India. So the GDP growth which attributed to the innovation management, which was analyzed by the Journal of Tehelco India. So over the past decades, it has been saying that a significant contributions has been done by these technological innovation. Specifically, the changes which we have done relating to the economic data for Tehelco India. So which includes it a tremendous growth in case of GDP, where the government or itself involves in the technical investment of the data and a sectorial contribution. Means technological innovations not only included in growth of GDP only at one sector, but it has given the growth to the each sector. So these segregation or the investment of the data has been given a different changes in each and every sectoral contribution. And along with this, these multidimensional factors or relating to the GDP growth has been a tremendous effect due to the innovation. So there is an effect upon the employment and also the inflationary rate. So first we'll see what sort of change in the employment rate, as these technological innovation has led to the increased productivity, means the production has been increased very high, and which has been reduced the demand of certain labor while creating opportunities in other sector. Means here the unemployment rate at one sector was increased but tremendously dominated by the more employment rate in the other sector. So where we can see that overall impact upon the unemployment rate depends upon the how we adjusted the phase in the sectorial labor. So when we have a perfect adjustment from one sector level to the another sector, the unemployment problem will not be arises due to these technological innovations. And at the same way, we can identify it in case of inflationary rate, where technological innovation has leads to the lower production cost as the technology invented. So large scale production and total cost has been decreased by extensive utilization of the capacities in the organization. So these technology has been leads to the increased in the efficiency and also the potential contribution to the lower inflation. However, if demand overfaces the supply due to the rapid technological advances, these leads to the inflationary pressures. But we should take in a careful methods, or maybe we should identify that where the technology innovations are rapidly advanced, and that leads to the inflation, that to be corrected, and slow and modifying of the modification and adjustment of the technology in the external environment to be identified. So along with that, some of the micro factors or macro factors which changes various ways which react into the specific industry. All industries are not at all being reacted to the micro factors, but based upon some market structure, characteristics or specific industry, those type of firms or the industries only reacted to the micro factors, which may leads to the technological changes. So we'll see what are those micro factors, like market entry and exit. So as restrictions in some sort of markets, like monopoly market where there is no restrictions, but when you comes from the perfect competition, no restrictions. So these witnessed the experience of technology based upon the entry of the firms, and innovation solution has been provided which existed the less adaptable competitors. So along with that, the price competition, so intensive technology or the intensified utilization of the technology has given a stiff wars relating to the price in the market. The best technology has given us a best competitive pricing in the market. And the next one related to the increased production. So the technological advances enhanced every firm's the production such that by utilization of automation, that is machinery task, streamlining operations which are utilized in case of machinery formulations in the industries, and it improves the overall efficiency of the organization. And along with that, innovation in the new product is 100% possible with the evaluation of the new technological advances, such that which influences the consumer choice and the demand for the market. So in this way, along with that above factors, the consumer behavior and changing of their preference. Once we find out the technological changes or the advances, consumer is also influenced and want to change his preferences, leading to the shift in the demand of the goods and services. And these technological advances have a lot of impact given by the e-commerce industry, widely publicizing to the consumers the changing of the technology or the change in the quality and the variety of the product, which is making a tremendous change in the consumers' purchasing decisions. So, in this way, the Tehilkal Indian has been given the generalized relating to the GDP growth, which given the effect of the employment and also the inflationary rate. So with these, we have find some of the factors which has been provided, the impact upon the technological changes which has taken highly dependent and may cause the rules and regulations across the industries and also region. So in this way, we can analyze the detailed analysis of the case studies which they have been provided relating to the multi-phased managerial growth which has been given in the economical changes by the Telecom India Limited. With these, we can comes to the another case of the importance of the pricing strategies where we have lively seen relating to the urban and the riding hailing industry. As we have seen these cab booking company, that is urban company, which was now extensively have a tremendous impact upon the traditional taxi industries, means itself has been provided a differentiated impact or marketing changeability in case of strategical pricing relating to the traditional taxi industry. So, in this urban price rating, we analyze the live case study relating to the how the urban pricing strategies affected in the market and surge pricing model what been adopted by these urban riding industry and what type of network affecting relating to the demand and services of this taxi drivers and other fields related to these driving industries. And along with these, this case study, the urban which has given a live examples of what type of economical implications does this industry has been given in the market and what type of regulatory challenges, means what type of challenges itself faced when it has been enter in the this urban or the riding industry. So with these, we'll see the detailed analysis focusing upon the urban cab booking industry in Indian environment. So with these, we go to the introduction like pioneers of this is a pioneer which has given a cab booking urban pioneers in riding industries where a revolutionary way the people communicated revolutionary this cab booking. Otherwise, traditionally we used to go for any taxi driving center and we used to hire a taxi along with driver and all. But within a revolutionary or the technological changes, online booking has been brought a revolutionary changes by this urban booking industry. So not only it in a locality, but it was globally given a tremendous or revolutionary change. So this case study develops as how urban ascent the forecasting its pricing strategies, means when we want to start this industry, first these companies has been forecasted or focused upon what type of pricing strategies to be involved and how the search pricing model was given and what type of prioritical network they have been. Why? Because cab booking center always requires this type of technological advancement by having these networks. So with the smartphones, how they are being provided to the drivers, and which has been effect upon shaping the success of this industry. So in this case study, we can also traditionally we can explore the economic implication or economical suggestions what urban market has been provided to the other sectors by accepting or enhancing the regulatory challenges what the market has been provided. So we see step by step. First we comes that what type of pricing strategies this urban pricing has been given. So this pricing has been a key drivers of the success, means these people always believes the key factor for the success of the industry or the drivers who are always on the mode to do the services for the customers for adjustment. So here the company introduced the dynamic pricing model which has been existing the fare based upon the real time demand and supply. So the company doesn't go for giving a common price for all types of rides. So based upon the demand of the ride or peak times and non-peak times, adjustment in the pricing has been taken place. So this flexibility has been optimized by pricing during the peak hours, means a high price is charged during the demand times or the peak hours, which will ensure the availability and incentivize to the drivers when they serve in relating to the peak hours. And at the same way, this has given a positive impact upon the company due to these flexibility of optimizing the pricing, which maximizes the efficiency, encourages the drivers to work hard and earn more, and also align the demand and supply. Means optimizing the demand and supply for their industry is possible. But these flexibility of the dynamic pricing is also having one type of loophole, like many of the customers and the many of the pioneers of this industry has been criticized relating to the surge pricing during the emergencies. Means always the peak times when these taxi drivers or they are offering at a higher price, but in case of emergency situation all cannot affect, and it becomes as a drawback and provide some sort of dissatisfaction to the customers. And along with that, surge pricing model, which was a dynamic pricing model, has been given a certain type of controversial in the urban industries, as high demand pricing will increases, which attracts more drivers, such that which will they balance the market, but sparkle the debate about the fairness and the ethics. Means maybe when we think of the drivers and the market demand, sometimes we in the high or the peak times charging more rates, and when at the low or the dull times we are charging low rate to encourage the customers. But how far it is ethical to charge is one sort of a debate or the dilemma upon these urban driving industry. So for that, the surgical pricing is uh, very positive impact to encourage the drivers who can available all the times for the supply to balance the supply and demand and contribute to overall efficiency of the system. But at the same way, some of the loopholes, like many customers became dissatisfaction when they has to pay a differential price for the same distance at a peak times and normal times, which provides a negative impact upon the brand reputation. So along with that, there is some networking effect upon the urban driving companies, where itself success is fueled by the networking. Means these internet facilities and smartphones to be availed within the drivers, and when they are joining into this platform, they should know the accessing sector of these networking of the smartphone utilization. So many of the traditional drivers are unable to join in the fact and these urban platform. Maybe they are of a good drivers and they want employment purpose also, due to the negative impact upon the networking technology. So the importance or the advantage where these networking will affect to increase the liquidity and efficiency in the marketplace, where it creating the self reinforcing system. So means this networking has been given liquidate and efficiency for the marketplaces and easily available to the customer by looking on these online services. But one of the disadvantage for these network effect is that here itself is a monopoly market and dominating within an innovative sector. So as urban itself has become as a monopoly in of 2020s. So with these, we can give the market entry and economic implications, where the urban company has been disrupted the traditional taxi drivers. Means one of the disadvantages what we can say, like the traditional taxi drivers has become a bankrupted and unable to avail these latest e-platform things and economical shift, providing economic opportunities who leads to the displacement of the taxi sector. Means one advantage is the traditional drivers who can avail the services, e-services, can easily adopt it by taking the job opportunities and increase the convenience for the consumers and help for the economic growth of this sector. But some disrupted the traditional drivers already having the own vehicle cannot compete with this urban driving sector. So along with that, they have the regulatory frameworks related to urban faced. So the next one is the regulatory framework. What type of these urban driving company has been faced in handling the various cities relating to the global and ranging from concerns about the safety of the drivers and checking the disputes over the compliances with the local taxi regulations. Means itself is having some sort of regulatory challenges where itself has to make it as a priority and market hurdles to be reached, and at the same way it should take the consumer safeties and all customer safety and a driver safety, which itself when I want to provide as a globally good or a reputed company. So when I want to create its platform, it has to face the many challenges. So by enhancing the disputes arising from the local drivers and e services what they have provided, so those challenges has been adopted and advocate arguments and regulations and accommodation of inventory business models. Means it's a one type of e-service business model has been given by overcoming the regulatory challenges. So with these regulatory challenges, maybe it has given a positive impact upon the market, showed that how a traditional company has been gained by utilizing e-services and reputed globally. At the same way, the conflicts has been there within the company related to the taking over the challenges of the e services or the e platforms which itself has been provided, and some operational difficulties has also been provided in this urban company. So by analyzing availing features, we can say that a live and the streaming example by giving these urban taxi booking or the taxi services, which highlighted that transformative impact in case of innovative business models. Means innovatively thinking a business model which has been evolved by the riding hailing industry by this urban company. So it itself has been a defined a different strategies which refine the transportation challenges and also enhance the regulatory conflicts, and the public perceptions relating to the issues has been remained. So we should understand the deliberate balances between the innovative market disruptions and the regulatory compliances for each and every company which has been economically enhancing in the market. So these urban hailing industry itself has provided a 80 to 90% of success by overcoming the challenges and evolving a landscape for the railing industry in the Indian economy. So this is the analysis how a riding company has given an impact upon the technological innovations with the economical enforcement. So thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.